Welcome to week 17 of Foundation Cycle 2. This week, we're talking all about nouns, which name a person, place, thing, activity, or idea. And guess what? I'm a mom in her backyard with a camera doing some filming for a video about grammar. It couldn't be more perfect. The reason why naming and nouns are so important, and this definition is so good, is because that's a lot of what we're doing as Foundations parents, right? The 5 core habits even have the acronym of names: naming, attending, memorizing, expressing, and storytelling. So let's talk about nouns, let's talk about naming, let's talk about the 5 core habits, and let's talk about this week's memory work. But let's not talk about it out here because this was a bad idea. All right, let's try this again. A noun names a person, place, thing, activity, or idea. A noun names. We take names pretty seriously in the Foundations program. Our children say them, they attend to their details and memorize them. They express and tell us stories about what they understand. Our ultimate goal as classical educators is to grow our children to become wise, virtuous people who know God and make Him known. But we know that they can't be wise about something that they don't understand. And they can't understand something if they don't even know it exists. So here are some nouns that your student will encounter this week. In science, your student is memorizing the second law of motion. Force equals mass times acceleration. It's a short sentence and it's packed full of nouns. Force, mass, acceleration, motion. These words belong together somehow. Your young students don't need to know exactly the details of how they're related. Not yet, though you can certainly allow them to chase their curiosity about these words into some type of understanding. You can even demonstrate the meaning of these terms and the relationship between them with an easy activity in this week's sandbox. These nouns begin to have more meaning as your student studies physical science in Challenge 1. That year, they'll be writing a research paper on a scientific topic of their choosing, so an interested student can add to their vocabulary of physics at that point. In Challenge 3 Chemistry, your student will balance equations and calculate molarity. And then in Challenge 4, your student will apply Newton's law to calculate real-world questions. They're calculating forces, predicting motion, solving problems with friction and gravity and momentum. There's one more noun in this week's memory work, and that's law. It's the part of the science fact that your foundation student may fly right past without paying any attention. But that little word is doing a lot of heavy lifting. As your student continues through their classical education, the fact that this is a law becomes more and more significant. What does this law govern? Who established it? Who upholds it? These are good questions. And I hope that the day that you get to answer them is an amazing time of worship in your homeschool. Okay, in math this week, we have another formula also full of nouns to define. The area of a square equals length of its side squared. And it's right about now that your 10-year-old pipes up in community and says, well, actually, this is the same as last week's sentence. And he's not wrong. He's also not completely right. It comes down to his understanding of those nouns. Why is that square a square? What makes it special? What are its attributes? Yes, a square fits the definition of a rectangle. But a long time ago, before your 10-year-old, before your great-great-great-grandparents ever walked this earth, someone saw the significance of this special kind of rectangle and gave it a new name. Now that your child has been given this word and this formula, he now gets to discover what that person did. And he will, as he studies geometry, as he graphs quadratic functions, as he calculates acceleration, as he orders fabric or paint or carpet for his home. This same but different math fact also introduces, in a subtle way, the concept of genus and species. This is propositional logic. All S is P is not logically equivalent to and does not imply that all P is S. All squares are rectangles does not mean that all rectangles are squares. Actually, let's say it mathematically. Square is a subset of rectangle, and rectangle is a superset of square. Your student will start thinking about nouns that are categories of other nouns as soon as the Essentials program, as they categorize the whole of English grammar. They keep going. In the Challenge A reasoning strand, they get to play with language. They use synecdoche by whole and by part. And by the way, they'll learn in Challenge 4 that synecdoche is itself in a larger category of literary devices called metonymy, only this time they'll play with it in Latin, and I'm actually going to stop right here, but just know that this well is deep. All right, let's look at this week's history and timeline. By my count, there are 18 nouns in this week's history sentence. 3 of them are actually wearing an adjective hat, but I'm counting them. You can fight me in the comments. 18 people, places, things, activities, and ideas. And those are just the ones mentioned in the sentence. I think you already understand the importance of this history sentence, so we'll move on for now, but I'll be coming back to history later on. For the timeline this week, notice some of the nouns mentioned: emperor, liberation, war, compromise. In a classical education, we let our small kids use big words because big ideas are learned in small increments. When your student is in Challenge 4, the theme word of the year will be leadership. This time, right now, spent memorizing the names, dates, and places of past leaders is important. It gives your student the vocabulary of statesmanship. As they begin to grow as a leader, they have so many examples, good and bad, from past leaders that they can learn from. But first, our kids need to know their names, which brings us back to nouns. In Essentials, CC students dive deep into nouns, all of their attributes, all of their uses, all of their fun little quirks. Hey there, verbals. We do this so our kids can more fully understand this world that we've been charged with naming, and so that they can build the skills to express what they know with clarity. A noun names a person, so we help our kids name their family, their friends, their community, their leaders, and everyone who came before them. We sing a song listing their names in chronological order and focus on 24 specific names each year. With these names come their stories, their context, their struggles, their triumphs, and the lessons, both good and bad, that our children will eventually learn from. A noun names a place, so we help our kids name their home, their church, their city and state and nation. We point to a map and say, that's Luxembourg. God created that land and he loves the people in it. And who knows? Someday one of our children may find themselves there, sharing the hope of Jesus. A noun names a thing, so we point to this thing, and that other thing that we just defined last week, but we define it anyway, and we encourage our kids to keep asking and to stay curious about what things are, because that's where learning always begins, and we want them to do this all their life. A noun names an activity, so we do them. Naming, attending, memorizing, expressing, storytelling. Definition, comparison, relationship, circumstance, testimony, memoria, invention, arrangement, elocution, delivery. We practice these activities task by task. A noun names an idea, so we feast on them. Virtue, knowledge, understanding, wisdom, ownership, discipline, freedom, choice, consequence, leadership, truth, goodness, and beauty. And daily, we point them to the name that is above all names, because there is no other. Thanks for watching. See you next time.